Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, and today we're back. I'm going to be doing the second side story of the entire game, which is Understanding, which I believe is going to involve Yuri and Sayori. So, begin the side story. The club meeting is suddenly interrupted by the sound of the door, causing Monica and Sayori to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. So this takes place right after the previous side story, which is Trust, from Monica and Sayori. Sayori's eyes widen, recognizing the girl. She very conspicuously mouths to Monica. "It's her! It's the girl!" It's true. The girl standing in the doorway is none other than the girl Sayori had came across reading alone in the classroom. Thanks to Monica leaving a flyer on her desk, she seems to find her way to the club. "Are you here for the Literature Club by any chance?" If I'm in the wrong place. "No, you're not. This is the Literature Club. Please come inside." The girl fully steps into the door, but continues standing against the wall, avoiding eye contact. Sayori continues to fail, containing her excitement. "It's happening! Oh my gosh!" "Thank you for coming. Sorry it's a little empty. I'm Monica, and this is Sayori, and we run the Literature Club. Even though it's just us so far, but... What's your name, by the way?" "I'd like to join your club." "Already? Wait, really? Are you sure?" I mean, I should be good enough." "Everyone is welcome here. You don't have to be good enough." "Oh. Do you want to have a seat? We'd love to get to know you." The girl nods, sliding over a nearby desk, gently sitting down. "So what's your name?" "Yuri." "I'm Sayori, and this is Monica." "Sayori, Nice to meet you. Do you like fantasy?" "Like books?" So Yuri looks at Monica. "Fantasy is cool." "Yes. Have you heard of Annabelle Dupont?" I can't say I have." "Oh, she's my favorite author. I'm on her 5th book, and it's just..." Yuri grins and presses her knuckles against her cheeks in joy. "You can borrow my books. I wouldn't mind. You really are in for an incredible experience." Monica stammers, completely off guard by Yuri taking control of the conversation. She glances sideways at Sayori, silently asking for help. "I'd love to. It sounds like you're really into them, and so they must be great." My voice cracked again. "I'm happy I found this club." "Oh, I'm so stupid. I left all my other books in the line locker. I should have brought them." Yuri quickly stands up. "I'll be right back. I'll go get them from you." You probably just need to bring one for now." So Yuri nervously says that, noting to herself considerably heftiness of the book that Yuri sits down on her desk. "True. Okay, I'll go get the first one then." Yuri exits the club room in a flash, leaving Monica and Sayori silently exchanging glances. Oh my god, I was not prepared for this. How do I handle someone so intense? I have like no experience with fantasy except maybe stuff that I read when I was a kid. That was probably like a joke compared to what she's into. I'm sure it'll be fine. In fact, I think it's neat that we have different people who have different kinds of literature. It'd be fun to learn from each other. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, but what if this is her only interest? Doesn't it kind of seem like that? Monica, don't you think you should be more optimistic? We have a new club member. There shouldn't be room for anything that would be there shouldn't be room for anything but being happy. I'm excited to get her know her more, don't you? Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry for being so hasty. I just got really anxious all of a sudden. Especially not afraid not to being able to take the lead. What the heck? It's kind of scary how you point things out like that, Sayori. I just like learning what people make happy or sad. I can't read again. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You probably could be great at helping Yuri feel comfortable here. Maybe you could take a break from helping me and with the administrative stuff and just focus on spending time with her. Yay! That's exactly what I'm going to do. What I will do. I want to do. Whatever she said again. Besides, Sayori lowers her voice. I'm probably going to need all the time I can get. Sayori taps her finger against the dauntingly chunky book Yuri left sitting on her desk. Right afterwards, the door opens to reveal Yuri's return. I'm back. Her breath is silently heavy, which, combined with her short time gone, indicates that she might have ran at least part of the way. She makes her way back all the way over to Sayori and sets the book down on her desk. Just as Sayori feared, the book Yuri brought her is just about equal in size than the one that's already on Yuri's desk. Well, there's probably at least a few things you should know about before getting started on it. There are like some things that are more explained in other books that take place in the same universe, so going over those would be good enough to keep you from getting confused at the start. Very nervously interjects. Well, I was thinking that maybe today we can just get to know each other a little bit more. You know, I think like if we're going to be reading together, I would like that. From across the room, Monica smiles and nods to Sayori while Yuri isn't looking. Oh, okay. Yuri sits down, then looks at her book, then glances around the room, showing no indication that she has anything more to add. So, what made you decide to join the literature club? To join a club. Well, I like reading, so I was immediately interested. I had no idea that someone was starting a literature club, but that's my fault since I haven't been paying attention to any of the club recruitment advertisements. I only found out because she glances over at Monica. Monica? Monica came into my classroom and put the flyer on my desk. Suddenly, Yuri's face darkens as she shakes her head at herself. I was so stupid. I got so nervous that I couldn't even look up, so she just walked out. It took me several days to come here just because I was afraid that Monica would tell everyone how inconsiderate I was. But I was decided that it was probably irrational. Wait. No, that wasn't totally my fault. I feel so bad for interrupting, but I felt so bad about interrupting you that I just walked out. I was actually really hoping that you would come by. Yuri exhales in relief. I always seem to interpret things as the worst possible scenario. Well, I was not really nervous to come here for any other reasons too. Such as there being too many people. Not that I mind that much, but I have a really hard time having to meet a large number of new people at once. It was actually amazing to see just the two of you. It's just the two of you. I definitely came at the right time. Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm proud of you working up the courage to come. Yuri smiles warmly to herself. I never really had the privilege of sharing my interests with others before. It's so hard to find others who are into the same things as I am, except online. So I thought the Literature Club would provide a chance for me to do that. What kind of club is it? What kind of other things are you into? Like genres? I don't know, just anything. If it's not literature. Oh, just things you would think that are dumb. Yuri pauses, a look of concern on her face. How about I tell you about something I'm into, then you can tell me about something you're into? I suppose that will be okay. Okay. Well, I'm pretty into crafty things. Like making cute little collages, and decorating things. Like cards or jewelry, or jewelry boxes. My room is always cluttered with random stuff because I always keep buying things to make gifts for my friends. But then I put it off until the last minute. So yeah, that's something kind of silly that I'm into. You sound quite creative. Not that much. It's just because you're surprised by how much you can do with the scissors and glue and stuff. So I have to share something that I'm into now, right? So you're nods. I guess I'm into nature. I love nature. Monica is going to start a nature club. Wait, Monica, I'm going to start a nature club. No, you're not. You're stuck with me. You're stuck here with me now. I'm not. Oh yeah? Well, I hereby appoint you as vice president of the literature club. There, now you're stuck with me. Hey, don't give me responsibilities. Oh, I'm sorry, Yuri. I interrupted you. Go ahead. It's fine. Yuri pauses, feeling awkward after having gotten called cut off. Oh yeah, was that a reference to her knife collection? Guys, cut. Get it? Haha, I'm funny. I like going into the woods or to the park, just places that you can just walk or sit and not have any people around. It's peaceful. It's just nice to remove myself from anything that matters and let my racing mind operate autonomously for a while. That's a very big word. That's a very, very big word. When do you like to do that? It just depends on my mood. After school, on the weekends, whenever I feel like I need it. Wow, I feel like I would never have the time to do something like that. I find that we have a lot more time than we think we do. If you don't, wait. I find that we have a lot of time that we think we do. If you don't let it slip through your fingers. We continued the conversation, led primarily by Sayori, but with Monica chiming in every now and then as well. Monica had intended to leave it to Sayori and focus on her own work, but she found it difficult not to join in. Before they knew it, the end of the day was upon them once more. Oh look, it looks like we should be wrapping up for today. So are you two going to be starting on that book, the next club meeting? That's the plan. I'm so excited. So Yuri beams. Yuri collects her things. Once packed, Yuri wordlessly waves to Sayori and Monica with a gentle smile. Bye! As Yuri exits, Sayori enthusiastically returns her farewell. Once again, Sayori and Monica are left in the club room. Sayori, you are a lifesaver. I didn't do anything, I just talked. No. Besides, it really lifted my mood. It really feels really nice when I can put my energy towards other people like that. She was really excited to be included, you know. It makes me happy. It made me happy. But there's no doubt in her mind that she will have a great time here, with you engaging her. How are your feelings about starting the book with her next meeting? I'm kinda scared, but I think she'll be happy as long as I'm trying my best. I think you'll do great. After the surprise of a new club member, it seems like everyone has their spirits lifted with something new to look forward to. End of day 2. Day 1. Just imagine if it said that, like, end of day 1. Another school day ends. Following her anxiety, Yuri makes her way to the club room, expecting to be the last one to arrive. As she opens the door, she's surprised to be to find only Sayori in the club room. It's club time again! Monica went to the computer lab, so it's just us for today. Is that okay? Yuri silently nods, unable to make eye contact. I'm really sorry about yesterday. Yuri tilts her head, unsure of exactly what Yuri's talking about. Well, I mean, the way that I got overly excited to share my books, and how you had to stop me so we could talk first. It was so inconsiderate of me. I got too excited and forgot that about everyone else in the club room, so... Yuri, you didn't have to do anything wrong. I thought it was cute how excited you were. Well, still, I think I changed my mind about the book. We don't have to read it. Huh? Why? Because I know that you were just humoring me anyway. In retrospect, it's rather obvious that nobody was truly interested. But if you like it so much, then it must be worth sharing. I've already decided that I joined the club, so you don't have to try so hard to entice me. That's not what I was doing. A moment of uncomfortable silence stretches between the two of them. Well, the thing is, we don't have any club activities yet. I mean, Monica and I have just been working on recruitment stuff mostly. This just sounded like something fun we could do together. Reading your own books. You know, like, as a club activity, that would be okay, right? Why am I being so resistant to this, anyway? It's exactly what I wanted in the first place, and you're being so nice about it. I really don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry for being like this. You don't have to apologize. Just tell me if there's anything I can do to help you feel more comfortable here. Yuri pulls her desk up against Yuri's and sits next to her. The book in the question is already on Yuri's desk. Peering over, Sayori reads the cover of the book. Duskbell. Part 1 of the Everlast Saga. It's Duskbell by Annabelle. Sorry, I'm ready now. Oh, right, I should probably be getting some paper. Yuri grabs a spiral notebook from her hers and tears out a few sheets of paper. Wait, how come you need paper? I'm just useful to draw out things sometimes, like maps, timelines, and family trees, or just taking notes. Notes? Yes, that's an effective strategy. Exactly. I'm sure it'll be especially helpful for someone new to the genre. Yuri's joke flew completely over Yuri's head. Oh boy, this is gonna be an awkward conversation, isn't it? But thinking about it, she decides that it's probably for the best that it did. Well, I'm not used to having company through this, but I'll try to help and make it as accessible as possible. I trust you. I trust you're like super smart. Oh please. Yuri tries to dismiss the compliment, but she can't hide her smile and light blush. You can't just generalize intelligence. I'm only smart in things that I have a lot of experience with. Contrarily, I'm awful at anything involving real people. This should be evident enough for the 2 days I've spent here so far. So in my eyes, everyone else who comes off as smart, especially you. No! Sayori rubs her head shoulder against Yuri's. You're such a sweetheart and you're not being shy. Anyway, would you like to get started? Okay. After the minor diversion between them, the two get back on track with their planned club activity. Yuri begins to guide Sayori through the basics of the fantasy world her story takes her place into. The more that she details the races, the factions, history, elements of magic, the more questions Sayori seems to have. But despite Sayori's expectations, Yuri eloquently guides her through the way in a way that's fun to follow along. It becomes evident that the world-building aspect of the world, not just the story itself, is one that Yuri finds her passion leaning towards. How do people come up with this stuff? It's like the exact opposite of what kind of writing that I do. What kind of writing? Oh, like poetry and stuff like that? The things I just write about putting things down and putting down the feelings that come into my head, you know? But this is like there must be so much planning and hard work. Ah, you're into poetry? I think that there's an appendix that includes some of the kingdom's written works and like poetry and folk songs. No way! Yuri giggles, filling Sayori's heart with happiness when she realizes it's the first time she's heard Yuri laugh. It means Yuri must be having fun. Anyway, I think we can get started reading now if you're ready. Okay, but I can't read really fast. Okay, that's fine. I'm very patient. Patience is something I pride myself in. I see. Sayori jots Yuri is patient into her notes. Hey, that's for the book. I'm just kidding. But I'm glad that you're patient, because I need that sometimes. A lot of times. Sayori flips through the first few pages of the book, getting past to the table of contents. Okay, chapter 1. The room becomes silent as the two begin to read. But the silence only lasts for a moment before Sayori speaks up again. What does vindicated mean? Oh well, this contest essentially means that he was proven innocent. It's okay to ask questions, right? Of course. Sayori turns the page. Are these footnotes? A lot of dialogue has cultural references that require explanation to be understood. I remember this because in high school, when we were reading books for language arts and English reading, there would be stuff like this, footnotes, so people don't if people are not sure what that means. There's like a little small, like I said, a footnote that would actually say, "Hey, this is what it's supposed to be, and what's exactly is blah blah blah." But yeah, this is really nostalgic for that. I wasn't good at when it comes to reading, but as you can tell when I'm reading this visual novel, but it was fun nonetheless. There were some pretty good stories there and there. A lot of the dialogue. Oh yeah. A lot of the dialogue has cultural references that require explanation to be understood. The two continue reading. Yuri's relaxed expression remains unchanged. Sayori's expression grows tense as she tries to make her way through the dense text. Up until now, their expressions have been reversed, with Sayori easily navigating social situations and Yuri struggling in them. But the tables have turned. Wait, are you talking about the past right now, or the present? Where? Right here. Talking about the past, these paragraphs are describing a flashback that Barnes is having. But they didn't tell me that. Implied from the context. Sayori rubs her temples. Two of them continue, with Sayori asking a fewer questions. She begins to understand the value in the notes, as she finds herself referring to them to someone often, even adding to them. But her reduction in questions comes not from her getting used to reading, but rather her feeling that she will come across something as stupid. At last, Sayori reaches the end of the chapter. I think we can stop here for now. Okay. Sayori takes a deep breath and closes what little of the book she has gotten through so far. What are your thoughts about up to this point? Sayori tries to find the words. Am I doing well so far? I'm not sure I understand. Well, I don't know. It takes me so long to read and understand things, it makes me feel really dumb. I really like how you get into it. How into it you get. I keep hitting the first thing again. But I really like how you get into it. It makes me want to keep going and keep doing my best so I can see it in the way that you do. The relaxation in Yuri expressions fades. I see. Yuri quietly gathers her things. We can continue tomorrow, right? Yuri pauses and then shakes her head. We could do something else tomorrow. But, I'm sorry. Wait, sorry for what? I don't understand. I'm sorry. I don't want to do this anymore. That's all. I'm sorry that I made you. Yuri leaves. You weren't making me. Sayori is left alone with her words. How did this happen? We were having fun just a second ago. It's not my fault. I said something stupid and hurt her. I should have told her that I enjoyed it. Monica trusted me with this. It's the only thing I'm good at, and I still messed it up. And what if she doesn't want to come back? Drowned in her guilt, Sayori stares blankly at her desk, spreads with notes. Book sits next to them. Right. If she wasn't coming back, then she wouldn't have left the book here, right? Unless she just forgot to take it with her. Ugh, this is horrible. Was it really because she thought I was enjoying our time together? Or maybe she wasn't enjoying our time together because I'm not good enough? Probably let her down so much by having trouble following along. Yeah, I'm sure it was if I was smarter, she would have been having so much more fun. I need to do better for her. For the first time, Sayori is the first to enter the club room. Anxiety courses her relentlessly. Will Yuri show up today? Sitting at a desk, she stamps her feet in an attempt to calm down. Why am I letting this affect me so much? I'm doing everything I can to make Yuri happy, but my best wasn't good enough. But still, it was my best. I'm letting everyone down. I'm just always a disappointment. Sayori continues to wrestle herself with self-depreciating thoughts. Every tiny noise causes her to lift her head in anticipation of Yuri's arrival. Minutes pass and nobody enters the room. Not Yuri or Monica. Gosh, I'm so late. Why did I offer to help those other students with my work? I'm such a pushover sometimes. I'm going to have such a bad impression on new club members like Yuri if I'm not the first one there. Monica rounds the corner, approaching the club room. As she does so, Yuri? Ah! Yuri jumps at the sound of Monica's voice. Sitting outside the club room against the wall next to the door. Embarrassed, she quickly closes the book she was reading and stands up. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry I'm late. You didn't have to wait outside for me. The door to the club room was open. It's not... Yuri stammers, unable to explain herself. She peers inside the club room, through out the window, then looks away. Actually, I was just wondering if I could help you today instead. Huh? Me? With the club publicity and stuff? Yes. Monica is utterly confused. Why is Yuri asking this all of a sudden when she was so eager to spend time with Sayori before? Did he not get along after all? Sayori looks in the club room herself, seeing Sayori sitting down alone inside. Okay, it's kind of a simple job, but I'll be happy for you to tag along. Me too. Monica is worried, but she finds it difficult to insert herself into whatever conflict they may have arisen. It's a little ironic. She realizes that she could be a conflict avoidant after having been into the debate club. Alright, let's take a walk together. I have to make copies of this new flyer, then go to the billboards and replace the old ones with the new ones. Yuri nods and the two set off. You walk in silence. Without Sayori, Monica finds it quite difficult to strike up conversation. So, how's everything been going? Fine. That's good. None of them's followed up with anything more. Monica tenses up at the stinging conversation. How the heck does Sayori do it? Sorry, I didn't see you yesterday. I went straight up to the computer lab to work on the flyers. Sayori told me. What did you two end up doing yesterday? Just some reading. Oh, I'm glad. It's really starting to feel more like a literature club now. Yeah. Kind of funny. I feel so intimidated at first when I first heard about the kind of reading you were into. But you know, it's kind of stupid of me, because I'm just so intimidated by things I'm not good at. It's silly to assume that anyone who comes into the club would have the same interests as me. But it's so cool that you were able to get into Sayori into it. It's like the club is working. It's like the club is working, and I'm really happy about that. She's not into it. Huh? She's not into it, and I'm stupid for forcing her onto her. Yuri falls silent again as she started her thought, but can't figure out how to continue it. Did something happen? Yuri sighs. No, it's just me. Yuri pauses. I'm thinking. A moment passes in silence. Then Yuri shakes her head. I shouldn't be complaining it to you all of a sudden. Don't be silly. I won't think you're complaining. I just want to make sure you feel welcome. If it is important to that, then you can tell me anything. Well, I do feel welcome. You're welcome, I guess. Not an issue with the club, it's just an issue with me. So I feel wrong to inconvenience you with it. Monica passes and thinks. Well, what if we put it this way? My job as president to understand the needs of the club members, right? We're going to have all kinds of people joining this club, hopefully anyway. And learning about the diverse needs and interests of everyone that will help me come up with the new club activities that everyone can be happy with. That everyone can be happy with? Not just only some people? Of course! I need to be looking out for everyone. Otherwise, what kind of club would it be? I see. Yuri looks a little bit more relaxed. It signals to Monika that switching from her sympathetic approach to a pragmatic one was a good choice. Each individual truly does have their own needs. Okay. Yuri takes a deep breath. I'm really weird and awkward person. I've accepted that about myself. I just don't know how to, I guess, contact with other people. How's it easy for me, everyone else? How do you just make conversation about any arbitrary topic? I can't read again! Bah! I can talk for hours about the things that I'm into. Unfortunately, so much that I don't know when to stop. But with anything else, I have no idea what to say. So I understand about myself. I'm just not good with people. I can't help it. So it feels like whenever I'm confronted with a social situation, I'm either ignored or made fun of or take pity on. And Sayori falls into that third category. Gee, what? Hold on, you're saying that Sayori is taking pity on you? Yuri nods. I just want to be treated like a normal person. If you don't like me or you just don't connect with my interests, just tell me. I can accept that and move on. Yuri is too nice to me. I'm so stupid for not realizing that she would go along with whatever I pushed her onto her. Nobody deserves to put themselves to the kind of discomfort just because they pitied some weirdo who doesn't know how to make friends. It's the worst feeling I hate. It's the worst feeling. I hate it. Yuri's sharp words cut through this tense air. Somewhat in the middle of the conversation, the two stop short in the hallway, prioritizing the conversation over the original task. Monika looks at Yuri. Yuri only looks down with her fists clenched. I think you should tell her that. I can never say that to someone's face. It's pathetic. Yuri is different. Making people happy is the most important thing to her. I'm sure that's all she's trying to do. So if you're able to explain what makes you happy, then she would do anything to make it happen. That's the problem. What kind of friendship has one person always trying to cater to the other person's weird needs? I'm sorry, I'm making myself sound so... No, I think I'm starting to understand. Monika hesitates to finish her thought out loud. It's something that Sayori would be able to say better. There is someone who would give anyone however much kindness they need in order to smile. But Yuri, who has difficulty accepting kindness, must be driving Sayori to be even more assertive in her kindness, further exacerbating the matter. I don't know if that was the word if that said that word correctly, but I apologize in advance. Neither person is to blame, but there's an issue that can't be resolved without them understanding each other better. Sayori wants to be your friend, I promise that. It's okay for different people to have different needs. I mean, Sayori has her own needs too. But good friends work together can be whatever they need for each other. You just have to have a good communication and talk about it. Oh my god, my nose itches. I apologize, everybody. I don't have good communication. Yuri stops and shakes her head. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. My head is just too resistant to everything. I'm pushing to such a kind person between me because of it. Yuri pauses to think. I'm so tired of this cycle I'm creating for myself. I think I'm so afraid of people pushing me away that I pushed them away first. How thoughtless and immature of me. Yuri takes a deep breath and exhales. I didn't mean for this to turn into a whole venting session, but I understand now that I just need to communicate with her. You're totally fine. For the club, remember? You're just helping to make sure the club is a better place for everyone. Yeah. Yuri falls silent again. It looks like she wants to say something. This is kind of critical thinking of something that I'm really bad at. You know, about people. So thank you. Anytime. Monika smiles at Yuri. Just for a moment, Yuri finds it in herself to meet Monika's gaze, returning a shy smile of her own. Yuri and Monika finish replacing the old flyers with the new ones. More accurately, Monika did the work while Yuri followed along. As the clubroom once again draws near, so does Yuri's confrontation. I can't do this. Yes, you can. It'll be great. Yuri sighs and shakes her head. I'm never going to feel confident enough. I just have to do it. If I don't do it now, I will never will. Yuri starts towards the door, but then turns to face Monica. You're not just gonna wait outside, aren't you? I can take a walk. Want me to get a coffee or something? Actually, I prefer tea. I like to make my own though, so please don't worry about it. Although I suppose that one downside of reading here is that in the club rather than at home, I don't get to drink tea while reading. Sorry, I guess that has nothing to do with this. You know, now that you mention it, I bet we can get permission to keep stuff for tea in the club room. You can use like an electric kettle to heat up water, right? Would that really be possible? I'll look into it. I think it'd be great. Yuri smiles and nods to the thought. So this is where they get that permission for the tea kettle that they had in the beginning of Doki Doki Literature Club. Well, I'll be back in a bit. Good luck. Monica waves at Yuri, then turns around and departs down the hallways as Yuri's smile fades once more. A moment of daydreaming about tea isn't enough to save her from the anxiety of the test that lies before her, but it must be done. Taking one more deep breath, Yuri timidly opens the clubroom door. Yuri! Wait, hold on, I'm not done yet! So Yuri shuffles a bunch of papers around. Yuri stammers, her words suddenly caught in her throat. At that moment, she realizes how Sayori's been spending her afternoon. I wasn't expecting you to come by today. I was really hoping to make it all the way through the next chapter first. But I got most of the way through it. And look! Yuri holds up a sheet of paper. A page of notes, beautifully produced and with indentations, categories, and even color coding. As Yuri sees it, her expression shifts from anxiety to despair. I was afraid you were getting disappointed in me, so I've been trying really hard. Stop. Yuri presses her fists against her forehead. Please stop. I can't take this. Yuri's voice quivers in shock after receiving the exact opposite response she was expecting. I'm sorry. Yuri looks away in guilt. Did I do something wrong? I don't understand. If I do something wrong, please tell me. Yuri shakes her head. No, it's me. I keep putting myself in these situations where people are afraid to treat me normally. If you don't like reading this kind of reading, it's okay. Just please tell me. I don't need you to be treated differently just because I'm weird. But I don't treat you differently. I want my friends to be happy. So that we did something together that you really like. I don't want your pity. Why did I do that? Yuri sinks to her knees. Her voice squeaks. I'm sorry. Tears of guilt and self-loathing begins to steam down her face. This isn't how it's supposed to go. Why is it so hard to articulate your thoughts? Why do you end up pushing everyone away from you? Your mind pounds with internal accusations as she shuts her eyes, unable to face her Sayori or the rest of the world. You should leave, just to escape from here, before Monica sees her like this, and before Sayori tells Monica what she did. But before Yuri can put any strength into her legs, there's a warm pair of arms straightly wrapped around her from behind. Oh, it's so cute! Oh, okay, this is my favorite. This is my favorite artwork right now. Well, I need to take a moment and just look at this. Aww. It's okay. Yuri whispers in a soothing voice. It's okay. It's okay. Overcome by despair, Yuri finds herself unable to protest and pull away from Yuri's kind gesture. Yuri sniffles, breathing heavily through a clenched throat, trying with all her willpower to control herself. I understand. I understand that the things that you're feeling in your head are different from the things that you're trying to say. So that must be what you're feeling right now. I promise, I understand that. I'll give you as much time as you need. Whenever you're ready, just tell me your feelings and we'll talk about them together, okay? Yuri sniffles again and nods her head. She gives herself a minute to compose her thoughts, then speaks while steadying her voice. I think that I've gotten so used to people being weirded out by me that it feels like anyone who's nice to me is just doing it out of pity. I'm so horrible with people. It just makes me not want to believe that someone could actually like me for who I am. Yuri pauses, but Sayori doesn't interrupt. Rather, she just waits for Yuri to continue. I get so excited when I join the literature club. I thought it was finally my chance to make new friends through my interests. Because my interests are the only things that I know how to talk about. I have going for me. But then, whenever I catch myself getting overly obsessive in front of the other people, it feels like I'm making a fool out of myself. I hate myself for it. Ultimately, I just want to be treated like a normal person, but how am I supposed to expect that when I can behave like one? I just want to learn how to get along with people and stop ruining things for myself. That's all. Yuri finishes her thoughts, feeling more steadily after having gotten them out. Yuri, who can feel Yuri's breath rise and fall beneath her arms, realizes that that as well. Thank you for having me understand you a little better. You know, you were so great at helping me while we were reading. So I'll help you with the things that you need to. But I feel like But I feel like it would just be frustrating for you, with how much impatience I require sometimes. Hehe. That sounds kind of familiar. You're gonna stop worrying about while we were waiting. I was so afraid that you would get frustrated with me. But I would never do that. I did my best to reassure you by mentioning how I have a lot of patience. Yeah, I know, but my irrational fears just won't be quiet sometimes. I'm sure it's the same for you, right? Yeah, irrational fears. Well, you know, there's no way that you could frustrate me because I already liked you as the person you always were. I know that you said you had a hard time believing that, but I promise that it's true. You don't have to worry about being a social person for people to like you. I think you're really considerate in your own way, you know? Worrying so much about people's feelings? We're all kind of weird. It's a literature club. But it's the best part, we're all different, and we have different interests. Like about the book. I'm reading it because I want to. I promise, that's really what I want. That's what I really want. It's a bit of a struggle, but try not to mistake that for me not enjoying it. I mean, we could never discover new things if we didn't try them first, right? I want to learn the reasons that you love it so much. And in the end, if it's not for me, then I can say that. But I'll be glad that I tried and learned about it from you. More from you. Plus, you're like a super duper smart person. Wait. Plus, you're like super duper smart, and I want that to rub it off on me. Yuri fights back with a smile at the comment. Already, the heavy atmosphere surrounding her seems to have evaporated through the caress of Yuri's arms. Your hair is so pretty. I always wanted blonde hair, but I'm awful at taking care of it, so I cut it all off. Yuri's tension relaxes, but once she feels okay listening, rather than just worrying about so much about saying the right thing. Yuri, sensing Yuri's comfort, lets her rest. It must be so difficult for her to feel relaxed around other people. But if the Literature Club can make it happen, then sometimes it can be she deserves it to be experienced. Well then, based on my understanding of your feelings, I suppose I wouldn't mind if we would continue reading. That's what I want to hear. But we can stop at any time. If you truly don't like it, please be honest about it. I won't be offended. Of course. I'm not gonna judge anything on this early on, though, so we'll just see what happens. Oh, and, I'm not gonna touch people with their consent first. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Oh, you didn't. I mean, I suppose it was kind of nice. I was just saying. Hey, Yuri knows what's up. You gotta have consent when it comes to, physical touching. No touchy-watchies unless you have consent. I'm back. Monika's back. I haven't seen you, at all recently. Yuri trots over to Monika. Ah! She whispers solidly. Can I hug you? Sure, Sayori. Yuri wraps her arms around Monika. Oh yeah, it might be good to know. Yuri can be kind of a hug monster. Oh my god, Sayori, the hug monster! Roar! Ah. Hey, don't call me a monster. Artemis is a monster. If he inherits the kingdom, it could spell disaster. Yuri laughs. Monika perplexedly looks between the two of them, then smiles. Well, I'm glad you're already enjoying your reading so far. It's like our first real activity as the Literature Club. About that. Well, you've been so patient with exploring my interests. I think it would be inconsiderate of me not to return the favor for you and learn about the things that you like. Yeah! Or yes! Do you like poetry? Yuri smiles. Thank you guys for watching this series so far. We're going to be moving on with respect afterwards. But until then, everybody, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.